Now we have the pleasure of speaking with 3 esteemed AV experts in the industry that I'm so looking forward to speaking with for a candid discussion that addresses the critical intersection of AV technology and environmental responsibility to create sustainable practices to help us meet the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. So welcome Piet, Kristin, and Lode. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. How are you enjoying the show so far?
It's been fantastic. I'm loving it. It's my first ISE, and I'm so happy to be here.
Mine too, so we can compare notes. Wonderful, wonderful. So if you each could you share just a little bit about yourself and what makes you so passionate about sustainability in our industry? So if you want to,
Piet, go for it.
Piet.
I'm Piet from the Delft University, and this is a scientific university where students have their heart for the climate, so they really trigger us to think about it. And when we had our bold statement from the university that we must be climate neutral by 2030, we got this student coming in helping us with, let's say, imagining the life cycle analysis. So we now know the complete life cycle of products, and we worked on that, and it was really shocking what we could do and we do not do yet. So that is my quest on AV, green AV now.
That's a great quest.
Yes. And you, Kristin?
What was your question? Sorry.
So just tell me a little bit about yourself and then what makes you so passionate about sustainability in our industry.
Sure. My name is Kristin Bidwell. I'm the managing consultant at ACT Associates out of Boston, and we are AV design consultants. I've always had a passion for sustainability. I grew up recycling. I grew up in California. We had a very green household. So I've always been passionate about that from a very young age. And so being able to help the industry become sustainable has always been a passion.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
And Lode?
I'm a bit in the same sense. So first of all, of course, in Europe you have a lot about sustainability. So I always say you have to do what you preach. So we have to follow the rules of the European Union and try to do it as much as I want. The second thing is I have 2 girls that are vegan. I have 3 daughters and 2 are vegan. When you're in that mindset, they sort of push you to go to a sort of greener way of living and doing things in a proper way. So it became natural. With Kristin, it became natural to do something in sustainability for me.
Yeah, definitely. And you've actually just been speaking on a panel earlier about sustainability in the AV industry. Can you share with us, how that went and any of the key takeaways that you had from that panel?
I really thought that the audience was very enthusiastic, and I think that green AV as a word got a new definition and new domain and attracted people and think about it. And I felt that feeling from the audience, but also on the trade show. I think it's really inspiring. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Any other thoughts from the panel? Any key takeaways?
Well, for me, the biggest takeaway that I had was that we all agreed that training for the people in sustainability was important. And that came from Kelly, who worked for Rave. And she said, we have to force it, we have to find training methods to put people in that mindset of sustainability. And I think that was a big takeaway for me anyway.
Yeah. For me, I found that different areas value sustainability more. In their business goals and how they're operating and how they're building products. So certain areas of the world really value it, and we see it in the EU. Obviously, there's rules and regulations already implied. In other countries, not so much. So that was a very interesting topic that we talked about. Also, how do we get started? So, it's really just starting. Right, taking that first step and implementing what works well for your business strategy.
Wonderful.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that Kelly Perkins, who was on the panel with you as well, couldn't make it, but she's also involved with this SAVE organisation, which is it's a green AV initiative. So I'm sure people at home can look that up and find out more about that. With that, in her absence, we'll do a little plug for that.
And so I know we had mentioned the 2030 development goals a little bit earlier, but for those watching at home and and maybe some in our audience here, can you just give us a little background on what the 2030 sustainability development goals actually are?
Sure. Those old goals were. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Please.
All right. Those goals were created by the UN. 4 goals for 2030. Different rules that, I mean, you could go on the UN website and look up what those are. The good thing about those is there's something for everyone. So some are waste management, some is about water, some is about recycling, some equality. There's different things that companies can pull from because matching all of those goals may be difficult or impossible depending on what kind of company you are, but pulling a few of them really give you a nice base starting point to grow your company or grow your sustainability plan.
Fantastic. Pete, were you going to add anything?
Yes, because 2030 is about 6-7 years, and if we want to be climate neutral, if we want to fulfill these next horizon with their targets, target is a business, but if we want to be climate neutral by 2030, we need to do a lot. But first we need to be aware what we have and what we can do. That's why we started with what we call the embodied footprint. That is, you buy products, and in those products, the energy of the makers and the minerals and the mining of all the stuff, you buy it inherently into your product. So you already have a very large footprint without even noticing. And that was our first step to make that clear. Okay, what do we have in the house? And now we have to go further in for instance, the energy use of these products. And AV is also electronic equipment, of course.
Yeah.
But within our learning situation, we have furniture as well, and lighting and climating, etc. But my focus first is on think big, start small, take things which are tangible within my own field, and that's where I focus on.
Yeah, I mean, Pete, that was a great answer, but I can't believe you're breaking my heart telling me 2030 is only 6 years away. I mean, I'm absolutely unbelievable. And I know at TU Delft, your focus is on quality of teaching in those teaching and learning spaces. Yes. How has striving for sustainability helped or hindered that effort?
If you're reading in and know more about this equipment, then you can add sustainability to your quality of services and to your best of equipment that you want to do, but think through about how you can extend these products. And the first thing is, of course, the software and the hardware from the market pushes you to buy new equipment, and that we have to stretch that up. So there's a message to the manufacturers as well, but also to the IT world to think about that so we can stretch the lifespans of the equipment.
And so, how do I put this graciously? Do you think our industry and just other organizations, are they truly really invested in sustainability, or is it more of just, oh, let's just say that we are, check the box, and then nothing really comes out of that? Yes, Lode.
If you had asked me that 2 years ago, I would have said it's only ticking the box that they're doing. But we see more and more that manufacturers, integrators, consultants, end users are thinking about it and actually making an effort to become more sustainable. So now, yes, I say that it's not ticking the box, it's actually doing something. So it's a good time to ask it. So yes, they're doing it now.
But it is complex and wide, and you have to start somewhere. And at least if we as end customers ask them for it, the integrators and the industry should think about it. And I noticed it already with the let's say the discussions that we had on the trade show, that it's on the agenda, but you cannot change that in 1 year or 2 years. So that's why 2030 is so short. It's almost tomorrow for these kind of steps.
And Kelly, the final, Kristin, the final word to you.
Yeah, I actually have a different perspective. I think in the EU, it's a well-known fact, right? Like, you're doing sustainability. There's rules and regulations regulations in place. Everyone seems much more forward-thinking on this than other countries, including the United States. So I do see some companies in the U.S. Yes, full on. Let's do sustainable design. Let's make our integration firm sustainable. There's definitely people that are very forward-thinking and trying to match something that's going on in the EU. There's other companies that are, what do I have to do to check this box to look marketable enough to sell my services? Mm-hmm. So I think in the United States there is definitely still that, is this real? Do I have to do it? What do I tell my marketing team? So it's a mixed bag in the United States.
Definitely. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. I can't believe the time's gone so quickly, but I just want to say thank you to all of you, not just for your time today, but for bringing attention to what is an incredibly important subject on the panel earlier. And good luck with all the continued efforts. We look forward to seeing how they evolve.
Thank you.
With
Thank you so
pleasure.
much.
Thanks.